All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back more with the great Ed Klein and your phone calls. But first, our own Rick Ungar hit Bryant Park, which is right across the street. And he asked people why Hillary, the presumptive Democratic nominee, keeps losing to Bernie Sanders in the primary.
And Rick Ungar here with today's Malzberg Park poll, where we're talking to the folks about what is going on in this Democratic race. We are trying to figure out how come Hillary's going to be the nominee, but Bernie Sanders keeps beating her. We found out this.
I think Bernie really has tapped into a motivated electorate that's very excited about what he's speaking about.
He can't beat Hillary. Everybody loves Hillary. Everybody knows Hillary. And she has a nice background. No matter what they say about her, half of it is fabricated.
So you like her?
I do. I really do.
She changes her words. So several years ago, she said something different than what she's saying now. So you don't know if you can trust her or not.
If I had to make the call right now, I'd probably go with Hillary.
I think I'd veer more towards Sanders.
How come?
From what I've seen about Hillary, I mean, there have been a lot of shady dealings in the past.
Do you see any way that Bernie Sanders could find a way to become the nominee, or you think that's over?
No, that's over.
In the end, I think Hillary's going to be someone who's going to prevail, but Bernie just has the excitement right now.
Him being in the race, I think, is helping Hillary because it's getting her to kind of speak about things that maybe she wouldn't be speaking about, but I think in the end, she'll probably be the nominee.
Are you at all worried about this FBI stuff?
No, it's been going on for however long. I think she'll be fine.
And the verdict is in. You've heard what the people in the park have to say. Now, back to you, Steve.
All right, great job. So very interesting, Ed, that woman thinks Hillary has a nice background. I don't know what that means. But Bernie Sanders, folks, and Bernie, they're saying nominating Clinton would be a disaster for the Democratic Party and for the country.
Courting disaster is what they say. Having Hillary as the nominee because Bernie keeps outpolling Hillary when it comes to Trump.
Yes. So what do you believe his goal is at this point? Does he think he could somehow flip the superdelegates by building momentum and win the nomination?
I don't think so. I think he's got two goals. Number one, if she's the nominee and isn't indicted, then he goes to the convention with all his delegates and says, okay, this is what I want on the platform, blah, blah, blah. And it's all left-wing socialist stuff. If she's indicted and she's trying to hold on, he's got a very good argument to say, we've got to get rid of her.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what he's counting on.
And if they tried to pull putting a Biden in there, after he did so well, then none of those Sanders people would vote for Biden.
Can you imagine Biden coming in and saying, oh, no, I didn't run in the primaries, but you should put me in.
Forget Bernie. No, that wouldn't work.
Never happen.
Well, I hope they try it. All right, let's get back to the phones, folks. And, of course, this Newsmax TV, folks, is the only place where you could express yourself in so many ways, on Facebook, on Twitter, emails to us. We'll get to some of those later. And, of course, through your phone calls. It's very unique, and I'm glad that so many of you are taking advantage of it every single night here on Newsmax Television. First up in this segment, we go to Ken from Corrington, Tennessee. Hello, Ken.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Thanks for calling.
Got one question. You know, I hear Mitt Romney say about the taxes of Donald Trump. His comment was, well, as soon as the IRS sends me back an okay on it or tells me what else I need to do, then I'll release them. Well, why can't the White House call up and say, hey, can you push this through?
You mean get the IRS audit over with, and then Donald would be forced to do it?
I mean, we got plenty of time till.
Well, Ed, Ken, let me ask Ed. I mean, Ed, we know that the IRS could do anything shady they want on the orders of the White House, apparently,
and they have in the past.
Yes,
that's right.
Don't tell Facebook though.
Lowest learner.
Yes, but they won't trend for lowest learner. So I mean, this isn't really feasible. No. So you now, Ken, and stick around, Ken. So do you think, Ed, that Trump could get elected with never releasing a tax return?
I think as he gets closer and closer to November 8th, the pressure on him to release those returns is going to get pretty darn intense.
What do you think's in there?
The deals he's made, the corners he's cut, all
like
real
everybody.
estate, like all real estate guys.
Ken, do you think that he's hiding something
No.
indictable?
Yeah. people,
politically speaking?
I don't know. I think they go crazy at times, but on his taxes and everything, he's a businessman. So, yeah, he dealt with all these other countries. So, you know, he's trying to make a profit. That's what he's there for. That's what a businessman does.
Yep.
So,
There's also
you
the
know,
question,
I don't
if I
see
can
anything
interrupt.
wrong with probably what he did. I'm more interested in all these speeches that
Hillary made.
Hillary makes.
All right, Ken. Yeah, I'm making $250,000 a pop. Ken, thank you very much. Yeah, you were going to say it?
I was just going to say that, you know, when it comes to releasing details of how you're making your money, how about Hillary's $250,000 speeches? Some of them at universities were for $300,000. And you know, in the green room, when she went into the green room before the speech, she asked for hummus.
Not Uma.
Not Uma.
But hummus.
Hummus,
Yes.
that's what I meant to say. Hummus
yes.
every time. So she had these special, like, chairs.
Like the divas who perform at the concerts want. Yeah.
Maria Callas, for instance.
Yes, well, you know what? If I could get away with that, more power to them. All right, Mary is in Loveland, Ohio. Hello, Mary.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad Mr. Klein is there this evening. Listen, Mr. Trump is right. He's totally right about his taxes, and so are his attorneys, because I was a former IRS employee, and I resigned for ethical reasons, and if I was Donald's attorney, there's no way I would allow that to be released, because Mr. Klein knows if those attorneys are having a fight over, let's say, line 47 through 50, they're going to deal with it. They want everything, because right now the IRS is not ethical. And his attorneys, just like yours, would be fighting for you. Every line is so important.
Interesting.
Every single line. And they're going to shove it in the IRS's face and say, tell me, I got this. What have you got? And so people need to get educated on this. Besides, when you're a billionaire or a major big top millionaire, and Mr. Klein knows these people get audited all the time, and the IRS does it in 3-year segments. That's the way it is. Get educated. He's not doing anything wrong. And besides, Mr. Trump is a citizen like me and you and Mr. Klein. He's not a former politician. He's not taking money from the people. He gives all the time because he's a good man.
Well, Mary, this is a very educational phone call, and I really appreciate you sharing your expertise with us.
Well, I appreciate you guys, and Newsmax is the tops.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Spread the word. Thank you, Mary. That's interesting.
That was very interesting.
I wish every network could hear that and put her on.
She's so right about the attorneys telling him, listen, Donald, you cannot show these tax returns now because we're in the middle of negotiating about these things.
Right. No, that's very interesting. All right, well, let's get one more in for Ed Klein and say hello to George from Dallas, Texas. Hello, George.
Hi, Steve. I wanted people to remember from whence Mr. Woodward comes, and I want them to think about the old days.
You're talking about Bob Woodward. You're talking about Bob Woodward of the
Democratic National Committee, and remember the 25 cases of classified documents that ended up in the hands of the Russians. And those rats are not going to leave Capitol Hill easily. They're going to have to be thrown out. And I fear for Mr. Trump. I don't think he realizes just the can of worms he's opened up, and I think we all need to get behind him.
All right, Paul. George. Appreciate the call very much. So, Mr. Klein, we got about 30 seconds left. Tomorrow is going to go how with Ryan and Trump?
I think it's going to go very well. First of all, Donald's had his people down there now for several days. And Donald's also going to meet with the Freedom Caucus, the most conservative wing in the House.
Congress, yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of negotiations going on, and I think it's going to, as he's told me personally, it's going to work out okay.
My friend, great to see you, sir. Great to see you. The great Ed Klein, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, Stacey Washington, host of Stacey on the Right, and more of your calls, and John Bachman with the Focus Group. Don't miss it.